one of the things that Maureen and I did recently when we looked at the smart snacks in schools guidelines is compared all the items at McDonald's and said, you know, this is what really the kids are eating the rest of the time when they're not here. A lot more kids eat fast food. A lot of parents, because they're busy, they serve fast food for dinner and all that. So we looked to compare to see what McDonald's could sell in school next year, and there were three things on their menu that they could sell. One was a plain hamburger without cheese, and it barely met the requirement in calories. It almost was over. The yogurt parfait and the oatmeal. And those are the only three things that they would be able to sell that would fit into these guidelines. So if you think about that for a minute, not that we would want to necessarily bring in all of McDonald's menu to the school lunch program, but what it says to us is that if the standard is changed for schools but not for the rest of the community, then the kids are really getting kind of a mixed message, and it's difficult for us to get them used to those new things. And I think that's part of the rub, especially when you're looking at a high school where they have an open campus next year, and that's the case. The other thing is they did look at the school day as 4 o'clock to midnight. And between 4 o'clock and midnight, they can do whatever they want. Between midnight and 4 o'clock in the afternoon is the part of the school day that they have to follow the standard. So an after-school activity, football game, basketball game, they can sell pretty much anything to kids, but during the school day, it has to be the strict guidelines. But I think they also kind of missed the boat there a little bit. They're protecting the fundraising, which makes sense, but they're also sending kind of a mixed message to the kids there as well. So when it comes to treats, birthdays, rewards, fundraisers, all those things are exempt. But the school lunch program and school breakfast program have some pretty strict standards for next year. So that's what I wanted to share, and now I'd be happy to answer whatever questions I can answer, or go back and look at some more scenarios if you have some other ideas that you'd like to think about.
Sir?
I think it's more of a first question of how many students we have in the grade reduced lunch program. You have a percentage?
It's about 19%, and so it's around 280 kids out of 1,500.
So what we're saying is we need to increase the price enough to compensate for those other students, or are we saying that we have to absorb that price separately?
I guess that's a good question. So you know my feeling on this. 2 years ago when this all had transpired, you were with me, I was adamant about let's get out of it. There is no reason the USDA should have any right to tell us in the Waterford graded school district what our students should be eating, period. And their purpose now is to give you a little bit of money so they can control you and have a stranglehold on you, just like everything else that the government does. The government cannot do it better than the local top or management can do on this. It's impossible. So if I sum up what he just said, he said the USDA is more waste, higher cost, lower calories to the students, lower quality to the students, more package, less scratch, labor intensive for the employees, and more paperwork. And for all of that, we pay more money as parents for school lunch. That doesn't sum up exactly what I was saying 2 years ago. So to answer your question, and I brought it up 2 years ago, there is no federal guideline because you are not, if you're out of the lunch, you're not in the lunch program. There's no federal guideline on free or reduced lunch. There's no reason you can't say we'll give a reduced lunch to everybody that we have a certain level threshold of income. You don't have to give a free lunch away. So the numbers here are saying that, but you don't have to give a free lunch. I think $1 for anybody for lunch would be more than reasonable. Just because the federal government wants to bring excess money and give away, try to control your lunch program, doesn't mean you have to as a school district.
The piece that I would caution the committee on, though, is there are some families that are really strapped. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to be sensitive to their financial circumstances.
I understand.
So,
what is our participation of the student body have in the purchase lunches as opposed to those students that bring their own home?
Maureen, do you remember off the top? Paul just asked what the level of participation is.
Percentage-wise, I couldn't tell you. numbers with this?
We're part of what we've got 204 lunches per day, free, and 32 are reduced. That's what's written down.
Paul's asking big picture. Right.
Or total lunches served, I should say.
Just because we would not provide lunch for them doesn't mean that they don't have to have lunch, they can bring their own.
Correct. That's correct. I can get back to you with that number. I've got it on my desk.
Are you talking about the total number of kids that eat now? They
Right.
reduced 877 would be the average.
What was that, a couple years back? Higher?
Yeah.
So it's just over 50% then. So we're at about 1,500. Okay.
So there's already a number of students that don't participate in the lunch program, right? And I guess what I want to, in general, say that our job is education as opposed to food service. That's why we have Hopper providing the service. We don't want to do it. We don't want to make money on it. We don't want to lose money on it. We just want it to be a pass-through for our system. And we really appreciate the work that you've done over these years to try and maintain a good quality food program and guide it to us. But I think we're at that point now where we're saying, what's the best for our students? What's the best for our supplier? I'm really getting closer and closer to Dan's opinion on this.
Well, I'll tell you, I was very instrumental back 10 years ago in bringing Copper on. It increased the daily choices in students, and the more choices people have, the more they're going to take of those choices. If you have a salad bar with several different things on it for fruit, and kids walk through like grapes, they're going to take grapes. They're not going to take oranges if they don't like the orange. And what it is now is the federal government's telling us, USDA, that they have to be on there so the kids can throw them away. Absolute waste. Myself as a parent, my son sits at the high school and he tells me everybody takes it, Dad, walks 2 feet, and throws it right in there again. So I think that's just ridiculous. People all over the world eat food, and here we're just throwing it away because of another federal program that can't be run by the defense. So I guess it'll be to the board to consider what they want to do dollar-wise or something. But I'm leaning towards saying that we should not be in USDA free and reduced lunch program just for the sake of them not controlling what we do here. And this is being discussed also at the high school.
I agree. I think that the question will be, is there some way to have some benefit to students that would want to be in the program but can't afford it? But
No, you're either in or out. Here's a big question, and I don't know if we've heard this from anybody, anywhere, not the federal government either. Can they show any documented evidence at all that all of this business they've done has created any healthier students?
Not that I'm aware of. The USDA will, cite districts that have had good success with getting the kids used to the new regulations, and